Hello everyone, it's Jim from Ohio here, and it's late summer, and so it's time to start getting ready to do some of our indoor projects. We moved into a different house back in December, and along with the house we got a 30 by 40 foot pole barn. And we're really looking forward to some of the projects we're going to be able to do in here. We're going to be able to set up our own wood shop, have all of our gardening tools and supplies over in one area, and hopefully also have a recreation room. And well, you can see by the looks of this barn, it's pretty full and pretty disorganized. We've got a lot of work to do. I did build a loft earlier this summer just to help with storing the things up high, but I've got a lot of cabinets and shelving and really a lot of organizing to do out here. And I hope to do that during the winter time when I'm not able to do the outdoor projects and work in the garden. But to get ready for winter time and for working out here in the cold Ohio winters, what we're going to be doing is putting in at some point a mini split, which will be a heat pump, heater, and air conditioning system. But this pole barn does have some insulation up in the rafters. It has a metal roof, and I think that was simply put on as well as the same stuff was put in the walls, and it's only a 1/2 inch insulation that the builder of this barn installed to keep the building from sweating. Normally metal buildings, if you have one temperature inside and another temperature outside, it will almost start raining in the building just due to the difference in temperature creating a lot of condensation and moisture. So we are going to be insulating the ceiling just to help hold some of the warm air down when we're heating it during the winter time, and we won't lose all of our air up in the roof. So that's a project for later. But to start the project, what I'm going to be doing first is we have 2 garage doors in this barn. We have a single garage door that exits the rear of the barn, and it's where we're going to be housing all of our garden and lawn materials. And so it's really convenient to get out back. And then we have up front a double wide door, and actually that's a tall door as well, and we're going to have to insulate that too. But for today, what I'm starting to do is I'm going to go ahead and start with insulating this door first. I noticed that we do get a lot of heat radiating off of this door. It faces the west, and just with the hot sun beating down on the door and it being a metal door, it just radiates an intense amount of heat into the barn. So we are going to take care of this door first, and then we'll come up with a solution for the front door, and then probably start on the ceiling. But what I'm going to be doing today, I picked up this garage door insulation kit on Amazon, and it had high ratings. It had a lot of people that had done reviews, and it's supposed to work pretty good. It's R value of 4.5, and it's an inch and a half, actually it's an inch and a quarter thick. And so this is the thickness of the material. And the reason I went with this particular kit is just because some of the reviews that were out there, it's supposed to be easy to install. One side of the styrofoam simply has some grooves cut throughout it, and that way it's somewhat flexible, so that as you're trying to fit it into the area that it's going to sit and tuck it behind this metal at the top, and if possible the bottom too, you're going to need to flex it a little bit. So it does have the grooves already in it. And then on the front side of it, I've seen a lot of these that have the aluminum shielding, the heat shield or radiant barrier, and this one doesn't have that. I don't know, that would probably be beneficial, but in order for a radiant barrier to work, you have to have an air gap in between the heat source, which in my case is going to be the outside, the sunshine on the outside of this door. And then you would want the radiant barrier to be towards the heat source. And because I won't have an air gap, I don't think a radiant barrier is going to do me any good in this situation. So I went with this one because it has a white vinyl material on the exterior, or I guess it'd be the interior, that will face the inside of the garage, and it's just a vinyl that is pre-attached to the styrofoam. Now I did look at just purchasing styrofoam by itself, and instead of going with the cost of an actual garage door kit, and I figured that by the time you bought the 1 1/4 inch material and cut it to size, which I will have to cut this to size. This is actually wider than the individual panels will be. So I'll have to cut it widthwise, and you can see that it's also longer than the garage door panels. So I will have to cut it both on the end and on the sides. But I'd have to do that if I bought just regular 1 1/4 inch insulation. But like I said, that 1 1/4 inch insulation would not have the grooves already in it, and it would not have the white vinyl on it. And I have seen people that have used just regular styrofoam insulation, and it looks okay when you first put it up, but over time it does start to get dings and parts of the insulation breaks out. So I really didn't see a big cost difference in what this kit was versus those if I were to do it myself. And this kit, I think it was actually $125, which seems like a lot for just insulation with vinyl on it, but it's just the economy and the way the market is today. So to prepare for this, I am going to go ahead. I've got a bucket of soapy water. I'm using Simple Green. I'm going to just wipe everything down. I've got a lot of cobwebs on here. I've got a bunch of dirt down in the grooves. And rather than just covering all that stuff up, I am going to do a thorough job of cleaning the entire door. The other thing that I noticed that I'm going to have to do with this door is this rubber seal that sits on the bottom of the door. I noticed on this side that light is coming in. And if you can see here, the rubber seal at the bottom is crushed, and it is also torn there on the edge. So I'm going to have to replace this. Likewise, now I didn't see light coming in on this side, but whoever put this up really did not ever cut it to length, and it crushed here. So I am going to have to order a replacement seal for the bottom. Now this seal that is around the side, it looks kind of old and warped in places, but there is no light coming in. So I think we're probably good for maybe a couple more years. Down the road, I might replace that. But otherwise, the tracks are good. Everything is dirty and dusty, so I am going to wipe everything down. All of the wheels that move the door up and down, I am going to go ahead and clean those out and lubricate them really, really well. Now, the other thing that I did is in the past when we've been pulling this door down, I've just been grabbing this and pulling it. Now, I'm not going to have this finger hold anymore once I insulate it because the insulation is going to be down inside that groove. So I did go pick up a handle, and I did go ahead and just mount that handle. So I've got a handhold now to pull it down. But that's going to be the project for the day, and I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning and wiping everything down. You can hear the squeaking, and that's primarily just because of all of the rollers need to be insulated. So wish me luck, and I'll come back when I start to actually size and put the insulation in place. So I did go ahead and put the two lower panels in already, and I just wanted to do that ahead of time before trying to film putting these in. The reason that I did that is I noticed that I did have one of the guide wheels on both ends at the lower portion of the door, and that does block the corner of where the insulation panel will be. So I went ahead and put that in first. I did have to take that guide wheel off, so I loosened up the two bolts. And if you're doing a door like this, and you do have to take off, especially the lower set of guide wheels, one thing you'll need to be very cautious of, and that is, I don't know if you can see in the groove back here, there is a cable. And that is the cable that goes, it's connected to the bottom of the door, but it does follow all the way up the door. And that goes up to the spring that helps lift the door up. And if you are to loosen or remove that, what will happen is it will no longer have tension on it, and it'll go flying up, at least till it gets hung up somewhere. So to keep it from doing that, what I did was up here where the cable runs right beside this bracket, I did just put a clamp right on the cable, and I clamped it to the bracket and to hold that spring in place so it couldn't move before I loosened up those bolts. And then after doing one side, I did come over here and I did the other side. Same way as before, just put the clamp on the other side. But now that I've got these two lower panels in place, I wanted to just show you the difference. I've got a thermal laser thermometer here, and so if I point that at the upper door panel, you see it's reading 99 degrees. The sun is shining on the outside of that door. And now during the summertime, it gets a lot hotter than 99 degrees. Right now, it's about September 16th, I think, right now. So it is only 99 degrees. But then I come down to the next panel, and I've got 99, actually 98 degrees there. And as we get lower to the ground, it gets a little bit cooler, 97 degrees. But then when we jump to where we already have the panel in place, it's only 89 degrees on that panel. Now you'll notice every time I crossed over any of these places where the door panels come together, that is direct metal with no insulation. This is insulation right here, although it's only about a 1/4 inch of insulation. But right here where the two metal pieces come together, you see it's 109 degrees, 107 degrees right there. And up here at the top, we've even got 111 degrees. And that's just because that's that aluminum or the steel being heated up, and that's all being transferred into the building. So you can see where the difference in these panels, the insulation does make a difference. And just for the sake of consistency, we'll go ahead and get the other side. So it says it's that door panel is 100 degrees. It just came down to, yeah, it's still 100 degrees. When we come down to here, it looks like it jumps to 99. This one is 97, and then we get to the bottom one, and we got 89 degrees there, 88. So you can see where these panels will help out quite a bit. Now let's go ahead and get the rest of the panels in to finish out this door. Okay, as you can see, all of the panels are now in place, and everything fit nice and tight. Everything went together real easily. I did have to take off this latch, just take out the two bolts that hold it in place, because I wasn't able to get the insulation panel behind that with it in place. So I did pop it off and just slide that panel in, and then bolt it back on. But everything went, the hard part, or the most time-consuming part, was just taking my time to cut each panel. And I did notice that the two panels are at the top are a little bit shorter than all of the remaining panels on the door. So this is a situation where you would want to measure 2 or 3 times so that you make your cut as accurately as possible. Since this door kit, for all 8 of these panels here, was over $100, obviously you don't want to waste a piece because there is no extra other than the small pieces you cut off. And you don't want to have to splice anything together. It would just look bad. Now, the final thing that I did after getting the panels in place was I did open the door. What I understand about these is for this small door and these panels that I added, there's not very much weight to these panels, and only being one door, it didn't add a lot of additional weight to the door. So the thing I wanted to check was when I go to put the door up or down, when I stop, that the door does stay in place and it doesn't come back down on its own, which would create a safety hazard. So that is one of the things that you want to check out if you do install a door like this yourself. And if there's too much weight you're adding to it, you will need to adjust the spring at the top so that the door comes up smooth and stays up and doesn't come down on somebody's head. And I know it's pretty dangerous to mess with these, so you're better off to have somebody who does garage door installs mess with the spring or retension, whatever's necessary up there, just to keep things safe. But I shouldn't have to do that with this door. Now, when I do that other door over there, because it is an extra tall door and it is 16 foot wide, and it's I think it's 8 foot tall, that door is going to take 3 kits to do. And with 3 kits, that is going to add a considerable amount of additional weight to the door. And I don't have a garage door opener, so I don't have to worry about messing anything up there. But I'm guessing that after I get 3 kits and put it on that door, I am going to have to adjust that spring at the top. We'll see how that goes. I might do something different. I haven't decided if I'm going to go with the same panels. But, after the ease of install, and since this does look nice and apparently works based on the thermometer readings, I think that I may end up just biting the bullet and buying 3. And I'm wondering if maybe if I buy 3 more kits, if I can get a discount of some kind. But anyway, I'll leave the link to this door kit where I purchased it, and any of the other accessories like the digital thermometer that I picked up, or the laser thermometer. I'll leave a link down below in this video and where you can get these items yourself. But once again, another project down, one less thing to worry about, and we'll see how big of a difference it makes in this pole barn temperature. Well, take care. If you've enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up or like it, and share it with your friends. Take care and enjoy the rest of your week. Bye-bye.